Our next dating expert can tell love by the numbers. He's a master of numerology. Please welcome Yogi Akal.
So explain your background. How do you become a master of numerology?
Well, in my case, it started off in a funny way. I was actually living with somebody about 40 years ago. I'm an old guy.
Yeah.
And they were studying astrology and numerology and batik and macrame and all these odd things. And I wanted to prove how wrong they were and how silly they were.
Oh.
So I went out and studied it just to make a point. It didn't work. It went the other way. I ended up learning about it and realizing that it was a really serious work. And I became very good at it. And then in the 1990s, I learned the Eastern system of numerology, which is the yogic system, which is very unique. And in the old-fashioned traditional way, I was given the torch. I was made the master of the system. Now it's my job to make it available to everybody else.
Okay, so show us how numerology works, because this is fascinating. You can actually, based on your birth date, you can pair your ultimate loved one?
Well, first of all, the birthday has absolutely no special meaning. Okay. There's no superstition or ritual or vibration or energy to it. It just marks the starting point on a map. That's it. It's where you begin. So if you're traveling somewhere and you're in Chicago, you're starting from Chicago, no matter where you're going. And your birthday is the same thing. It's your starting point. Now, in a relationship, that's the same thing. You have two starting points, and you want to be able to get a sense of what the timing is. Timing is everything, and what the characteristics are and what the potential is. Sometimes getting a different perspective, such as this one, can be very, very helpful. I usually work with people after there's been a problem. So they're looking for me to help resolve something, looking for a different perspective. Sure. Prevention's always better. How to look ahead to what's possible for you and what to look for in your life.
Okay, well, G, when's your birthday?
April 23rd, 1978.
Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, you're at a stage in your life which is really beautiful. You have actually dropped all the problems in your life. So you've got a decision to make this year. You're either going to carry forward dysfunctions that you may have picked up earlier on in life, or you're going to drop them all now.
Now, like in the next week or two?
Now, like
today?
Before you leave the show today, you should let it all go.
Before the show today?
Does anybody have a cell phone? She's going to make a call.
That just made chills shoot through my body.
Well, that's a good thing. That's what should be happening to you every day, because you're at that stage of life now. It's a very unique situation for you. Whatever has happened before now, you can let go of. So you have new opportunities every day. And you're the type of person who you can be very kind, but you can also react. And you're going to have a constancy in your life. It's really important for you to have that, a kind of a neutrality. When you have that neutrality, people will respect you tremendously. And when you lose the neutrality, you end up spending 3 or 4 weeks wondering what happened. The beautiful part is you're very affectionate, you're very intelligent, and you're very magnetic.
You can tell all that by a birthday.
Okay, well, let's see what you can tell by Ryan. What's your birthday again?
October 12th. Thanks, Val. October 12th, 1977.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There's a deep sigh. If there's a deep sigh, you know that's trouble.
Who's having a massive heart attack or something?
Everything you have to learn is happening this year. This is it.
You're talking about love-wise, right?
No, I'm talking about your whole life. Everything you have to learn is this year. So every day that something happens, you go, right, this is something I have to learn. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And later in the year, after September 22nd, after the shift of the seasons, put that in your calendar.
Okay. Got it.
You need to think ahead 10 years. You know, I've told this story a bunch of times, but you know, there was a group of American business people that went to visit the Japanese in their financial heyday, and they asked the elders, do you plan ahead? And the Japanese said, yes, we do, of course. And they said, how far? And they said, so sorry, only 300 years. Well, you need to plan ahead 10 years. Not 1, not 2. Don't listen to your mother. Don't listen to anybody else. You plan ahead where you want to be in the year 2024, 25. And every decision that you make should be oriented towards achieving that. It's not the same thing as having a vision or a goal. It's having a plan. It's like having an architect look at a finished building and say, that's the direction that I want to go in. And not only will you be able to learn everything you need to learn this year, but you'll also change your life this year. It's not that there's something wrong. That's not the point. The whole purpose of life is progress. So change is always good. It's always good. And that's what this year's all about for you.
All right. right.
When it comes to relationships,
Well,
you're just very creative.
process of elimination, that means somebody's next, but after the break, that would be me and somebody in our audience. Stay with us.
All right, we are back with Yogi Akal and his love by the numbers. We're talking about numerology. We've been talking about dating for the entire hour. You have read me. You have read G. That leaves one person left.
Yeah.
And I have your birthday already,
Okay.
so we can save some time.
Okay.
And there are two things to say about you right off the bat. One is that this is the year of your soul. This is the year 2013, right now, is the year for you to be inspired and inspiring. So anything that's in your life that is not inspiring, goodbye. Anything that you do that is not inspiring, don't do it. It has to have that positive, uplifting essence to it.
Sure.
And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, it is not the right time. Because you know what happens to you.
Yeah.
When things get a little negative, they get very negative.
Yeah.
And you cannot afford that. You know, there's that old saying that you can't afford the luxury of a negative thought. You can't afford the luxury of an uninspired thought.
But what about her relationships, Yogi? Do you see
Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Is it?
Stay there.
Okay. I plan on it.
Stay put.
Okay.
She's actually engaged, so that's a good thing
Stay
for Jeff.
Stay put.
Good
Stay
job,
put.
Jeff.
Stay put.
All right, well, let's go to the audience. G is with an audience member. G?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. You know what? I'm here with a couple, Tom and Sharon. So, Yogi, do you have anything you have to say to them?
How long have you been in a relationship?
35 years.
35 years. So you're not going to ask me if you're compatible.
No.
What are the things that you should know? What's your name, sir?
Tom.
Tom. What you should know is that a woman is a completely different human being every 2.5 days. Completely different. And she does many things at the same time, where a man can only do one thing at the same time. So you have to know that about the woman in your life, and you can measure it. A man shifts every week. He goes up and down week by week. But a woman, every 2.5 days, completely different human. You can track that for yourself and find some constancy in your life. You have, this year, a lot of celebrating to do. There have been some setbacks at some point, but this is a year for you to celebrate. There are going to be some financial developments, and there's going to be some promotions. Now, I'm not a psychic, so I'm not predicting. I'm simply looking at the cycles of your life. And both of you are in the same cycle. The good news behind that is that when you're both up, you're both up. The bad news is when you're both down, you're both down. So you need to have lots of friends around you right now, because as you go through this year, you're going to get criticized, you're going to get promoted. You're going to have opportunities to make more money, and you're going to be worried about money. You've got to let all of that go and just thoroughly, compassionately, and gratefully celebrate your life.
And Yogi had these numbers, just so you all know at home. You had their birthdays before you were given it, so you were able to do this based on numbers there.
I didn't read it off your forehead.
Yeah.
I'm very good friends. Very short amount of time. I like what you have to say. Tell me more.
You gotta wait till the commercial break. We got one more real fast.
One more, G?
Yes, we've got Laverne here. Laverne, you want to stand? Or
Yes.
you want to stand up?
Yes.
Okay, this is Laverne.
Hi, how are you?
This is a fascinating year for you because you're starting to feel a little bit heavy. And sometimes when people feel like that, it's because they're at the very tail end of a very, very long process of learning in their life. And you are at the tail end of it. So you have one more year where it feels like you're walking through water sometimes. Everything might be bright and shiny, but still it doesn't quite move the way you want it to. That's released next year. So in 2014, it's as if you're waking up. Like the sun is rising. We can all break into song here for you. And the beautiful part about it is that you are so caring, you are so creative, you are so giving in your life. I don't mean giving foolishly. I mean you like to be of service. It's really a pleasure for you.
Yeah, and Yogi, we're just about out of time,
Good.
so I got to cut you off, and I feel bad for doing that. Maybe you two can speak after the show. But if you want to find out more about Yogi, visit our website for all the links there.